buddy?
Either base, there is a bunch of stuff in the treasure chest, and y'all are welcome to whatever's in there. Just don't take all the diamonds.
Take all the diamonds. Gotcha.
Well, okay, the first base is actually pretty cool. I gotta do some work on it. I was working on it, and Rowan's like, let's go explore, and decided to do it where she is. But I never did finish my chest room. Yeah, see, this is supposed to be,
Okay, this is the other base. I need a,
which base?
whose room is this?
That's my room.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yours is the teal
Okay, go
bed.
all the way up into the rafters. There's a, right there, go up, go up. What? Is that up? Do you see the...
There's the ladder. Too similar, Mom. Too similar.
Okay, so that's the treasure chest.
Doesn't matter what I stick in where.
Yes. Everything is organized.
Make me go through.
Okay, Trev, where are you at? Is there a,
The only thing I want to do.
okay, do you want me to, like, teleport us all to you? Gray?
That's up to you guys. I'm not gonna complain either way.
Because there's not, I mean, there's stuff I can do at this other base, but... Were you oh, you're probably not even in the house, are you?
Me?
Trevor?
Yeah, no. I'm in a field full of sunflowers.
Okay, yep, I know where you are. Hang tight.
I'm a sunflower samurai.
Nice.
Sunflower Samurai.
So did you push your thingy, or are we streaming, or are you...
Yes, we're live.
Oh, I didn't know that. You didn't say anything, Dor. You usually say hi.
I did. I said good evening.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, what was it?
Okay.
How do
Hang on, Trevor.
okay, there we go.
Mountain
Alright, hang on. You're about to teleport right in front of me. Hi. This is our house. There are beds upstairs. And then if you need stuff, you go down this little thing right here. And these are pretty much empty, but if you go through this candle, or this cake looking thing, you're in the, this is the, yeah. But you can walk through the paintings when you're down here. So every painting has a doorway behind it. And anything you may need is in those. Yeah. Go ahead and go down there and you can check out what's down there. I don't know what's in here. Oh, hey.
Did you see what I just did?
But you're gonna wanna, a lot of stuff you need is in this chest right here that I'm looking at that's up the stairs and is easily accessible. Go ahead and take, yeah, we are fighting things, so you're gonna need a sword and a pickaxe. And you might take the shears too, because those help. And go ahead and take the iron ones, and you can take the axe too. Don't worry about the wood ones suck. I mean, they're good for when you're first starting out, but other than that, you don't really want to use them. And we can either hang out here at this base, or we can go to where Ray is. Ray, stay right there for a minute until,
I want my f***ing cave.
we'll let Trev prep that stuff, and we'll decide if we're going to go out that way to you, or if we're going to stay here.
Okay.
Because I still have work to do on that one too. Did you show everybody around? I was like really proud of this. This is somebody else's design other than the part that I added on for the livestock. The house we're in right now, I designed myself, but that one was somebody else's design, where Ray's at.
Did you say iron sword and iron pickaxe?
Yes, and you can take the iron axe too. Because the axe is what you use for the trees and stuff, and then the pickaxe is rock. And then go ahead and take the shears up top. They're red. They're right by the bow. I'm in there. I'm in the same thing with you. And
Dyslexia
if you
kicks
want,
in and you
can
can't
take
spell
the
sword.
armor that's in here. I know it's just a hat and feet, but it does help. And just for reference, the gold stuff sucks. It breaks really, really fast. Oh, so you're giving yourself stuff now?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I see. I see. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, if I went into creative mode, I could pull out some command blocks and I could create a teleport between the two bases, which is what I was trying to do. I just didn't have the coordinates for this base. But that's my new thing. I use the command blocks and I make little You're funny. Okay, hang on a second here. I'm gonna do this.
I think I might be having a little too much fun now.
Okay, so that OP'd Trevor, so he could put in commands too if he needed to.
Okay.
Do you want to go over to the other base, Trevor, or you want to stay here?
I don't know.
You
I
know?
haven't played much of.
Okay, so if I write down the
Minecraft, so I'm
coordinates, will you be happy?
Huh?
If I write down the coordinates of where I'm at, will you be happy?
If you no, here, hang on. Okay, we're gonna go to Meat Ray. Okay, I'm gonna send you there first.
Beam me up, bear.
Yep, hang on a second.
Beam me up, Scott.
Beam me up, Mom Bearish. Beam
Did that
me up.
send you? There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna
Woohoo,
teleport
I'm spinning
myself
in your
over there
head.
too.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Hey, we learned that learning the commands is actually a
There we go. Okay. So I was like, if that did that, then that means that has no noise, so nobody can hear it.
Yeah. You're talking a foreign language to me. I'm like I said, I've never
What are you
played
doing in
this.
that cave again?
It's a little tough to get the hang of it at first. And it is kinda, it's like, okay, I don't know what to do in here. You know, if you wanted to, if Ray was willing, we could switch to another game that actually has a purpose.
No, he has to help me come mine this cave. I'm kidding.
What?
Nothing. I'm just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get to the house. How do I get back to my house? Before all these zombies kill me. There's another witch. Those witches are mean.
Slime block time. Down here with the slime blocks.
You're funny. My goodness.
Yeah, I left the geode alone because I didn't know what to do with it.
Well, okay, what you do is break out the parts of the geode that, that aren't the parts of the geode that aren't, fuck. Let me start over here for a second. So you know how you have two different amethyst blocks, and one of them is a budding amethyst block and the other one isn't?
Mm-hmm.
You clear out around the budding ones, and it will continue to put shards off. And if you just keep collecting the shards, you will have a never-ending supply of amethyst blocks, which should make you happy. No?
Yeah. You're right.
So what are you gonna do with your cave?
I told you already. I'm gonna make a fucking death trap.
Why are you making a death trap in my game?
Because you said I could do whatever I wanted, and I want to fuck this cave.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make it so that there's going to be a pressure plate. If you don't know about it, it will fucking shoot you until you are dead.
Wow. Wow. You know, I could set up a command block to just kill you if I wanted to. Push this button. Oops, you're dead. Somebody else pushes the button. Oops, Tommy Luthos dead.
Somebody else pushes the button.
Whoops, Calculus is dead.
Well, the command blocks are actually really cool. I mean, I got used to the console commands, and then I watched this really good tutorial on how to use it properly after stumbling around kind of trying to figure it out. And then the command blocks are more complicated, but it's actually really cool what you can do with them.
Did you all hear that though? She can make a command block that kills me.
I can. I could do it right now. I just put it in creative and go, okay, push the button.
I would be upset.
Yeah, you want to see?
I don't fucking do it. Don't you dare.
Want to see?
I don't have a bed. I don't have a bed, and I can't get back to my cave easily.
You can't get back to your cave easily. Okay.
Well, now I can because I put a map down, but still. I am not going to play Find the Fucking Cactus. She couldn't do it, guys. She couldn't fucking do it. She's gonna fucking kill me. Do it and you'll never learn how to use redstone for what you want. Why did you give me a white bed?
Cause he said you don't have a bed.
Oh, you're gonna make me lie, you asshole. Fine. If we're gonna play this way, all's fair, love, and war. All's fair,
Yeah?
love, and war. And you know my favorite color is purple.
Except for, I have a power you don't.
Oh.
You know, it's not often I get to mess with Ray when it comes to tech stuff. So, Ray, guess what?
I'm going to yell at you if you do it.
Do what?
I swear to God, I will make it so you cannot walk in this cave without dying.
It's okay. Nobody said I wanted to go to your damn cave. Okay, here we go. Game on.
I'm gonna fucking cry.
Game on.
Fucking
Yeah, no, it's. I don't know anything about this game. Like I said, I'm playing completely blind. I don't know how to pull up the map. I don't know what I'm mining for. I don't
you
know.
don't have a map.
I don't really want to play. That's where
That's
I'm at.
okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm just fucking with her. I'm not gonna kill her.
No,
Although
no.
I might
That's
just
fine.
put a mystery button somewhere whenever somebody will be like, hey, what's this?
Don't-
Cookie Luther just died.
Did you hear how we fuck with each other?
No, you're good.
It's okay. I'm kind of lost in this game. Rowan and I started another game, and I'm like, I forgot what I was doing in this one.
Yeah, no, and that night, worked all day. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, well, you're good, honey. You're good. Ray just wants to build her cave.
Shh.
I just want to do a command block to kill her at will.
I will figure it out, Mom.
Yeah, you can't.
Why, you took that off of me?
Because I have no, unless we're in creative, you can't. But because of their new controls, I can put myself in creative and keep you in there.
Don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it.
No?
Don't be like your granddaughter.
Oh, come on.
It ain't fair when you do that shit.
All's fair in Minecraft and war.
And more.
I'll make sure Rome kills you 1,000,001 ways from Sunday tomorrow if you do that.
Oh, like she didn't do that to me already. Uh-oh, Ray. Uh-oh. I'm gonna put it out on the balcony. I'm not kidding. Okay, watch
Okay.
this.
Don't ever play this game with the kids then. Oh, what's this? Click. Oh, I can kill you.
What is it? 1707?
No.
Is that what it is?
No. No, it's not.
She's like, no, not at all.
Don't fucking do
Never,
it.
never.
Don't fucking do it.
Hang on, I just gotta make a lever now. Or a button. Or a button. I could make a button. Hey, maybe Rowan has a lever. Or a button. She likes to make stuff like that. No.
I get it.
Do we have a lever? Well, damn it, now I gotta go all the way upstairs, I think.
Have fun digging through all those boxes.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, I was the one that set this up. You think I don't know what's in what box?
We'll laugh if Rowan rearranged some stuff.
No, there was a couple of junk boxes. So, I know where the majority of everything is. Nah? Alright. I need wood.
Maybe it's a sign you shouldn't kill me.
All I need is a button. You know what? Fine. You want to play that way? I'll just give myself a button because I can.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, Granny got dangerous. She learned commands.
Granny's got a gun. The whole world's come undone. Everything just like stopped.
It's part of why I gave you. Oh shit.
It's part of why you gave me a bed, huh?
Yeah,
Mm.
it's exactly why I gave you a bed. I want to see if I can do it without knowing without having to look up the command.
Just don't kick me like you did Rowan.
Oh god, that was awful.
That was great.
That was absolutely awful, and I felt horrible. Like, I can't get back into the game.
That was the day we discovered once you kick someone from your server, they
I
can't come
literally
back.
thought it just meant you walked over to him and kicked him.
Oh, fuck! We're gonna seriously play this game now, huh? Hi, Granny.
You gotta put your name. MM AND _ block. Alright, now try it. Go ahead, try.
Go back to playing.
Okay. Oh well. Guess I know something.
Okay, maybe I'm not trying to kill you for once.
Yeah, but try to put it down.
Oh, what the fuck? You're creative, aren't you?
You have to be to do the command block. But I can go into survival with you. And you want to see the cool thing? My command block still works.
Fucking asshole.
Well, at least I gave you a bed so you didn't have to leave your cave.
And so every time you get mad at me, you're just gonna kill me, huh?
No, imagine when Rowan comes up and trips this. Oh, I wonder what this lever does. You died.
It's not gonna be Rowan, though.
It's gonna be Grady.
Or she's gonna look at you and be like, I can just see her looking at you and be like, that's not cool. Granny.
Oh, goodness. I won't do it again. I might even just take it out, but... Aren't you the one that's usually doing that stuff in the game? Oh, check out this cool stuff I can do. How'd you do that? I don't know.
Yeah, because I do forget how I do stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm probably gonna set up the fucking wall wrong, but...
Well, see, that's one thing I'm good at is the building. I did most of that thing from memory.
And obviously killing me.
Yeah, I did that from memory too, but it's actually a really easy command.
You
just
know-
do a / kill whoever it is you want to kill, and you leave it at that, and you put a lever on it, and anytime somebody trips it, it kills them.
So does that mean that I can have a non-playable character and name it Kenny, and every time you flip the switch, it kills Kenny?
I'm not sure. It didn't get into the non-playable characters with that. I think those actually have to be coded. But you can do, I did a complete game for the girls. It's, they call it like a murder mystery, but I want to try to make it so you don't have to kill the other player, you just have to hit them. And have it a game of tag instead of kill each other.
You're ruining Rowan's fun. She was really
She's
good at
the
that.
only one having fun, man. That kid's evil.
That kid's evil.
She was like mad today at me, and I'm like, okay, let's go play my game and let's kill each other. She's like, all right. And this cat's got like, she went out and collected some resources while I was looking for her. And she comes running back into the mansion because I made the spooky mansion the place you play it. And I come running up to her and she builds a tower of dirt. And she gets to the roof and she busts through the roof and goes up to the second floor that way and left me in the dust. I'm like, what? She's like, come on, Granny, come upstairs. I'm like, oh, God. I knew she'd love it, though. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Try it again. Weren't expecting that, were you? She tried to kill me, Trevor.
See, look.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I just realized that.
Okay, don't put at. Yep. Now hit the tab key. Okay, all you have to do is push the first letter and then the tab key. Nope, that's not gonna work. Nope, okay, yeah. I didn't know if it was case sensitive or not. They said it was. Alright, you wanna play this way?
Thank you for showing me how to use the command.
You suck. They're everywhere.
What?
It looks like a blaze.
What?
They're all dancing on the lever to kill you.
Well, we took Minecraft to a whole new level.
See what happens when you learn the commands?
Yes. It's gonna be even funnier when I see ++ code our own game.
Well, I've been thinking about that.
Well, I have all the resources to do it. The only problem is that, what is it? I can't get over the raw salmon. That's okay. That just means I can get a lot of kitty now, huh?
Yeah. The whole idea was to fill up your chest.
That's okay.
See, now, okay, I still question if this is considered cheating. 100 chests, huh?
You'll understand.
Wow.
Well, if we're going to talk about filling each other's inventory and chests, I best...
See, now I think that playing Minecraft and learning the commands is a great passive-aggressive way to fuck with each other.
It is. It really is.
Well, I've been teaching Rowan some of the commands, And our other game, I've been putting signs up on everything. And she'll ask me every time she encounters a sign, what does that say?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell her what it says. And today we were playing our game and she walked up to the house and it has a sign that says Home Sweet Home on it. And she looks at it and she's like, Granny, home sweet home. And it's like, yes, it is. We got our teleporter set up in the other game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one in the house that you can teleport back to the house, and then one at the village.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Deciding when to kill you again.
Oh, really? Here, sit here.
Does that make me no fair to play with anymore?
No, it doesn't make you no fair to play with anymore. You just gotta hit a button and I'm dead.
No, I just gotta pull a lever.
Yeah?
Yeah, I couldn't find the button.
Are you close to your lover?
Yeah, I am actually. It's right out that door.
Mm. I wonder.
I don't know. So in the realm of things, what do you guys think? Is that cheating being able to put the commands in?
Not really. It makes it a lot of fun.
It does.
Especially our passive-aggressive bullshit with each other.
Well, okay, like when Rowan and I play, I don't do things that we can't get, right? I mean, like, okay, I don't do it with the diamond stuff. That's something I make us both work for. And where we're at has an overabundance of iron, so that's not something that we do it for. But, like, we're out exploring and there's a dog and she wants the dog, so I'll give her, like, 5 bones. But she's gotten used to me being able to do that. She even said it today. She's like, Granny, could you give me this? Like, you're magic.
I love it.
Well, that's the whole reason why I learned how to do it, was so I could be magic to her.
I thought you were going to spawn at the other base. That's why I killed you.
Yeah, no, I already retapped my spawn point to this one.
Really is a passive-aggressive way to do it.
See, now, okay, one of the things I thought was cool was that with this new update, with the bookshelf,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually attach it to redstone and make it a trigger for something.
That is pretty cool.
I mean, at the other base, I have a hidden room that you trigger by pulling a book out of a specific book.
Oh, I remember you showing me that.
And it was actually really simple to set it up in the scheme of redstone. I really want to learn how to make the elevators. And they have this bomb that I really want to learn how to make by just doing it. Because when Rowan does her crazy stuff, I can just make the bomb and launch it at her. And it actually moves. And it's got TNT on it, and when it hits something, it explodes.
Nice.
Well, I would do that, and then she'll be like, how did you do that? And I'll sit down and show her how to do it, and then she'll do it to me at some random point.
I found a lot of iron. You see this?
Yes, there's a lot of iron over in this area.
Hmm. Anyway, how you like our little bitch fest?
It's not a bitch fest, it was fun.
You know what I mean.
You know, you're playing a game, isn't it supposed to be fun?
It is, especially when you're killing each other. Oh, I know you're in the middle of something, but I'm gonna make you spawn back here.
Well, I was nice and gave you a bed first, so you didn't have to walk halfway across the map to get back where you were.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, that wasn't as nice as you were being. Oh, I thought you were at the other base, which is like literally a map away.
Who said I was nice? Obviously, I learned a thing or two from you.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be nice when you're playing mean. I'm kidding.
So what was that you told me? Hang on. So, you were saying that, Bam Margera died the other day?
Yeah, he had like 5 seizures and was pronounced dead.
That's like... Okay, guilty pleasure. I loved watching them abuse themselves in Jackass. Last one, I was like, good God, I never wanted to see every single one of your dicks. But the Godzilla one was perfect. That was so epic.
That was great, wasn't it?
Well, I liked Johnny Knoxville's analogy of why it was all dick stuff. He's like, we spent our youth protecting it. So basically we decided, well, we don't use it that much anymore anyway, so let's just see what we can do with it. Now, I want to know, how the fuck does that thing flatten out?
How does that think? What?
Do you remember they put it between the two things and they were playing ping pong and they're like completely flat?
Yeah.
It looked like a tapeworm and shit. I'm like, whoa. Okay, now I don't own one, so I was just curious, because you definitely couldn't do that with a tit.
Well, you could, but
Oh no, you can't. They try with a mammogram, but they don't quite get that bitch flat.
Can you hear me now?
I'm just saying.
Have you? Okay, I'm not making fun of any women. I mean, you and I have talked about it before, but when you can use a Band-Aid for a nipple pasty, is that not flat?
No. Okay, so my sister was like that, and well, there was still some there.
Not much. I love you.
Yeah, but not everybody can be as blessed as you.
You know what? Take it.
Honestly, I think that having big boobs is a curse. I mean, we were talking about that. I was stretching on the floor, and I'm like, man, yoga, where your tits try to kill you, right? They do. Oh my God, they don't tell you. That's why big girls don't do yoga. My tits took on a life of their own, and they tried to strangle me. Like, seriously. That's why we don't do that upside down thing either. The anti-gravity thing. Is that what that is? What are those called? Yeah.
Inversion tables.
Yes, the conversion table.
Inversion
table. Conversion table. Yeah, that's where they strap you to the chair and change your mind. Oh.
Granny's having too much fun.
I'm just trying to be lighthearted. We had a whole cool conversation going on, and then Minecraft happened.
Isn't that always how it works?
No, not always.
Oh, you know what I just realized? I don't have a crafting table down here.
But I'm pretty sure people are sick of my Neanderthal talk.
What makes you say that?
Because with the discoveries that have been made just in this past year, everything we know about history was wrong.
Hey Mom, tell me something.
What?
Did aliens make the pyramids?
Fuck no. Jesus Christ, man. I lost a lot of respect for Elon Musk over that one. I'm like, not even you can believe that shit. Really? But you see, that's wherein lies the problem. Is that if you didn't know any better, what was your opinion of Neanderthal man? I mean, you go to the museum, what do they show you? Basically animalistic, human-like people?
Yeah.
That's not how they were at all. Oh, they've the oldest writing on this planet is 2 million years old. And it proves that they were so much smarter than people thought they were. No, I don't want to elaborate. Fucking look on Google. I'm kidding.
She was overly excited about it.
Oh, dude, the things they've just been coming out with just this month destroy everything. They literally destroy everything. Because, okay, well, we found out about the flatbread, which means Neanderthal knew how to cook, and that from their evolution, that somehow they understood that cooking some of their food would actually be easier to absorb into their body. And this, to me, always called into question, when exactly did we gain what we consider consciousness? Because from what I'm seeing with the new things that they're coming out with, it was either before or with the Denisovians, which was before Neanderthal. And wait a second, there's no missing link. They proved it. Whoops. Whoops. Sorry, guys. What everybody's been looking for hundreds of years doesn't fucking exist, because we are the product of Neanderthal and Denisovian interbreeding. And it took 40 times to get Homo sapien.
Well, I'm gonna be...
Well, there was 39 offshoots of the Denisovians, right?
What was it again? Morte?
Homo mortis?
Homo mortis.
Yes. Well, see, you'd first have to have Homo mortis, which is what you would consider a zombie. And then if the zombie gained consciousness, it'd be Homo mortis mortis. Dead man. Or it would be Homo sapien mortis, which would be wise dead man, which is probably what they would pick. Or they pick something stupid like Pisley. I'm so angry about that. Why the fuck would you name such a majestic bear Pisley?
What's named Pisley?
A Pisley is... Okay, so over 30 years ago, there was this polar bear that liked grizzly bears, and she had babies with them. And then one of her daughters also liked grizzly bears. And then all of a sudden, we've got this thing that they now call a Pisley, which is a combination of a grizzly and a polar bear.
Okay.
They're absolutely beautiful. And they have characteristics of both of them, but it is like the most terrifying thing that you could ever imagine, because, well, aren't those two of the meanest bears?
You would think, yeah.
Yeah. But that's what happened with us. And I just think it's funny because what we've been learning, and then the writing. We'll go back, let me backtrack here for a second. The writing is on the cave paintings, and deciphering this writing, which they didn't really realize was writing, it was moon cycles. And it told when the animals bred, when the babies were due to be born, and when to hunt them. Which then means that the cave paintings were showing you the animals it was talking about, rather than being homage to what gives them life or anything like that. So everything that we thought, every possible scenario that we thought was wrong, because nobody believed that they were intelligent enough to be able to track, let alone write, about the animals they were hunting. But that calls into question, seriously, when did we literally gain consciousness? And when you think about the 39 offshoots of the Denisovians, how many of them had the same consciousness that the Neanderthal had, or better? But yeah, I was really super excited about that. I was like, haha, everything was wrong.
Oh my god, it's a fucking creeper.
And I don't say I told you so, but from what I studied and what I saw with what I hypothesized with the information I had, was there was no way in hell that those creatures were as dumb as they thought they were. Oh, the other thing was that they were the ones that first domesticated animals. The Neanderthal, because they domesticated raptors, and they started domesticating hyenas. Hyenas, fucking hyenas.
Are you up in the sunflower fields again?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, you want me to teleport you?
No.
Okay.
Do you see where he's at?
Oh, nice. There's some good stuff up there.
I'm in just a hole.
You're in a hole.
Yeah, I'm digging a hole.
Oh, okay. I do it a lot myself. But those discoveries change a lot about history, which means that ancient man was not dumb.
So does that make you Homo morte morte?
No.
Are you sure you're not Homo
I
morte?
reluctantly call myself Homo sapien sapien. You know, everybody's worried about what they identify as. I identify as maybe Homo sapien sapien. I don't know. I might say Homo sapien. I mean, just because the translation is wise man, and I just don't see it. I think it's funny because we've actually devolved throughout history and lost a lot of technology that would have been really fucking useful around now. But we are more wise than those who came before us. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I'm a meat popsicle.
You're a meat popsicle?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
It's from, what is that, I don't even remember. Fifth Element, I can't even think straight.
That's okay.
So,
So,
I've been learning about the coding to actually make your own textures and stuff.
yeah?
And I was looking into how to do really good pixel art.
Yeah?
If I use the highest setting and make my own textures in Photoshop, I can make them look as realistic as I want to.
I know. I already have some patterns laid out for us. For the pictures.
Oh, lovely. I'm excited.
I was going to use some of my pictures. And they're already pixel art. Because I know a cool program that translates any picture you want into a cross-stitch pattern.
Nice.
Which is basically pixel art. We've been doing pixel art since before there was pixel art, god damn it.
Well, even then, like, I've been studying the C++ codes and everything on how to do it, and it's just...
I've seen you messing around with some of the textures and stuff.
It's gonna be a pain, I'm gonna tell you that, but...
It is, but one of the things that you have to take into consideration, too, is that when you get into that high quality, it's gonna slow people's computers down.
Not if you do it the way that I've been thinking about it. You just keep your file size below 50 megabytes.
Do you understand how big that actually is in
Mhm.
a program? Okay.
Hey, look, I found lapis.
Okay, as long as you understand how big that really is.
Okay, you know that my, all my profile pictures are 10 megabytes
Okay.
and less. I think the lowest I have is a 4 megabyte one.
Okay.
So,
You know that some games that play perfectly on your computer, the second that I'm playing with Rowan, bogs down my computer, and it goes really slow and gets really glitchy.
yes.
That's what you want to avoid. And I've been looking at some of these games. I don't get it. Some of them are just, they piss me off so bad, and they're so glitchy. And then you go to cut down a tree, and it doesn't automatically make the leaves dissipate. And it's really not that hard. It's a little switch that you push to make them do that, or keep doing that, and it just didn't happen.
They probably didn't put it in their code. I was thinking about Crafty. Crafty is someone that we watch a lot, and how he does his games.
I really
And-
enjoyed the Crafty Hearts.
I was asking a coding friend of mine about this recently because they're like, oh, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, so how would I really go about doing an actual JSON file that would be read? And how would I implicate my own non-playable characters or your NPCs? And making a dialogue that people would have to follow in order to play the story with this game.
I've been trying to think of a story. I have a couple of directions to go, but I think what I want it to do, at least the first one, I want it to teach the girls a little bit of reading and writing. And Rowan was learning how to add the other day. I was so proud of her.
Oh, she knows how to subtract too.
Yeah?
I've been working on that with her.
Okay.
Because she was like, I have this many, and now I have this many. And I was like, so how many did you remove? And she was like, 2.
And that's what I do with her when we play, when we build stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She'll mimic what I do, so I am very specific with the numbers. Like, she built that huge, big tower almost by
Oh
herself.
my god.
In that one game, the flat world that we were doing,
Yeah.
she built, okay, I built the outer wall, and I did, like, a piece of the base of the tower, and she finished it. I didn't do anything else on hers from there on out. And hers, up until you hit that second level, is identical to mine.
Yeah. Hey, your dot keeps moving.
I just thought that was cool. She's always been real good with that.
She is, and I think it's amazing.
And then putting the signs up, she always asks what they say, and I show her, and she knows the letters, and I ask her the coordinates too. She'll tell me the coordinates. And she knows how to find you by coordinates. Pretty cool, huh?
It is. I think it's amazing. You know, when you look at a child's mind and how they incorporate things or interpret things, it's fascinating.
Oh, she's really fascinated with how the body works. I must have gone over it at least 50 times with her with that one game, because it tells you all your insides and everything, and then it shows you them in a model form, and then it's like, hey, build your lungs. Right?
Right.
And yeah, we went over all of that. I can't tell you how many times. I think it's funny because when you have special children, the way that they learn is different than other children. And so you have to find ways to get through to them that aren't quite in the box, I guess is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but the whole neurodivergent parent community is pissing me the fuck off.
Why?
Oh my god. Just... I guess that puzzle pieces are bad.
Oh, why
And
is that?
real autistic parents don't like them. Because it implies that there is a piece of the child missing. And that they're not complete or they're not normal.
I thought it implied that they were unique.
You know what? You know what the fucked up part of this is? is that words are subjective. They mean different things to different people. And why do people always take it to the negative bullshit?
Because that's what society wants us to think.
I personally love puzzles. And the reason that they started using the puzzle piece is because at the point that they were doing that, they didn't understand much about it, and it was a mystery. It had nothing to do with the kids not being anything. It was that the disease, or the dis-ease, I guess is the way, right, Trevor? Is, it was unknown. I mean, even though we've been dealing with it, I mean, I had an autistic child before it was a thing, and I know that she was because of raising these two. And I always got told, oh, your kid needs this, that, or the other, and I'm like, okay. And oh, you need to stop that child from screaming. I mean, it was awful. And we didn't know. We just thought she was a hellion.
I don't mean to laugh, but she still is.
I mean, okay, my friends literally called her demon spawn, okay? Okay, don't get me wrong, I love my daughter. It was very difficult raising her, though. But the problem is that arguing over stupid shit like that isn't helping anything. You are not educating people, you are pissing them off so that they don't give a fuck. Because now there's rules on how to be handicapped. There's rules on how to be neurodiverse. That's what they're trying to tell me. Or am I just reading this completely off in left field because it pissed me off?
Well, just like there's also apparently rules to being schizophrenic and shit.
Yeah. I mean, what does that say about society that they try to place rules on things that... What the fuck? Every autistic child is different.
Mm-hmm.
So how can there be any rules? And well, the fact that I am helping raise two of them and raise one of my own, do I not have a say in any of this? Do I have to be pissed off about this? Because I personally don't care what other people fucking think.
Well, you brought it up, so obviously it has feeling to it.
Well, it angers me because this isn't how you get people to listen. The more that you fight them and tell them they're wrong instead of educating them, the more bad feelings they're going to have to it, and they're not going to listen, and they're going to get bad information, and then it gets all fucked all around.
Mm-hmm.
So why not educate these people instead of picking a fight over a goddamn symbol? What was that you say, Trevor? It only has meaning because we assign it to it?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. That's one of my favorite things that you say, though.
Oh, it's, why do you remember the lyrics to a song? And the therapist told me that it was because you make it important.
Okay. And so in regards to a symbol...
Well,
So
and it's Berserk's based off that same premise. If you read the Lost chapter, it's the idea of evil, and it was created because mankind needed something to blame.
Yeah.
For all the bad in the world, when all the bad in the world is either self-inflicted or projected because somebody feels wrong about something. So it's the idea of evil is just the concept of mankind to a certain degree.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really see the screen.
You're good. I haven't been playing either. I'm just kind of like watching her and...
Oh, you're just waiting for me to kill you again?
Mm-mm.
I have an idea though. I'm making like an intricate cave thing.
See, but I get it, but I don't get how people have enough time to be pissed off about... It seems like a really ridiculous thing to me to be mad about.
Welcome to the new age.
Well, this is nothing new. That's what you guys don't understand. Oh my god, I hated the 80s because, man, you want to talk about judgy fucking people. That was like the American way. Why do you think we had Jerry Springer and shit like that?
Jerry.
Geraldo. Oh, let's get the skinheads in here and confront them. That was a smart idea, wasn't it? Well, it actually was brilliant because it made him huge. But I get it. I mean, it was my generation that raised a couple of generations now, and yeah. I think it's funny because I see all these posts about people talking shit on millennials. Oh, we didn't need safe rooms when we were kids. We were strong. And I'm like, oh my god, really? We raised these kids, so if they're pansies, it's your damn fault. Right?
Right.
But part of it is that when we were growing up, it was still transforming into the world that it is now, and it was still spare the rod to spoil the child. But a lot of us were like, I don't want to do that to my kids, so we didn't. And this is the result of just giving in all the time to your kids and no real strict discipline. And the latchkey kids. We were the first latchkey kids, and then it just got worse from there.
Latchkey.
What's
That's
that?
what I was
Latchkey.
thinking.
Yes, the first kids that came home to an empty house after school. That's what latchkey kids are. Now, okay, I was a spoiled little brat. I had a nanny. So I was never alone until I was like literally a teenager.
I don't mean to laugh, but how spoiled were you?
Well, okay, can you honestly consider that spoiled? Let's be honest here. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. Why the fuck did she need a nanny? Things that make you go,
Yeah.
Okay, so I came from a place where they couldn't be bothered to raise their own kids. And literally paid somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Kids.
But the reason I wasn't a latchkey kid is because, well, you know, they had a mission for me and I couldn't get into trouble, so they made sure that I was always busy and they knew where I was every second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking lollipop kids now. We are the lollipop kids. I don't know why.
What was that?
Oh, lollipop kids.
I can't hear you, Trevor.
Yeah, no.
It's okay. I have the table between us too, so that doesn't help.
Lollipop kids.
Lollipop kids.
Yeah, we are the lollipop
Yeah.
kids. I don't.
It's just crazy how much the world has changed, though. My goodness. I get why the boomers are confused. Well, think about it. My generation was the first generation to really get computers in school. And we were learning how to code computers with DOS because we still had to back in the day.
Yeah.
I have literally learned every single version of Windows. That's creepy.
I'm safe in my hole.
You're safe in your home.
Yeah. I'm serious.
That's great.
I'm doing this like multi-layered tunnel thing. I just can't see because I have no torches.
Oh no, do you need some?
No.
Okay.
I'd have to know how to make them.
You need sticks and coal.
Oh.
And a crafting, or no, you don't even need a crafting table. You just need sticks and coal, and you can hit your,
I'm old-fashioned. I want to do it the way it was. Oh, because you were talking about the cheating thing. It's like I can't do it. It's just the way. Like Robbie used to always set stuff up to
be badass. We'd play Twisted Metal and we'd have infinite specials or whatever.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes the game go too quick.
Well, see, I don't do it with other games. I just do it with this
No,
game. But I usually also play with a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
So.
no, I get that.
And I'm Magic Granny.
Yeah. But no, if I'm gonna learn how to do it, I need to learn how to do it literally from the ground
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. But yeah, you need wood to make planks to make sticks,
Alright.
and you use the planks to make the crafting table.
Alright.
Most of your stuff has to be made in the crafting table, but there is some stuff that you can make without it.
Well, yeah, I was turning sandstone into like half sandstone or something.
Yeah, you can. I think.
Slabs.
Don't you need? You need a crafting table for the slabs. You know what we should do is have Rowan play with you. She'll teach you all of it really easily. She'll be like, oh look, check this out. This is how you do it, Uncle. She taught me half of Minecraft. She literally taught me how to play Minecraft
She
at
did.
5 years old.
She did.
That saying about teaching old dogs new tricks. It ain't true. It's all about what you want to learn.
It is exactly.
You make it important, right? You make it important.
Exactly. I mean, maybe I'm ridiculous being angry that they're so angry, but Jesus Christ, isn't there enough conflict in the world that you gotta just add more shit to it?
Well, it's because even at work, I mean, it's a matter of, it's not necessarily like letting things go. It's getting to a point where you realize shit's gonna happen, whether or not you have an input variable or not. Shit's gonna happen, and learning how to, I don't want to say do something about it, but not do something about it. It's funny because I tell people I practice the art of Zen, and facetiously it's the art of doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, facetiously, but realistically it's finding that place where it's like, well, you can make a choice. You can exacerbate it or alleviate it to a certain degree. And that's not an easy place to get to. It's a hard place to see the positive in what's going on. But
So I follow a Buddhist monk, and he posted something today that 90% of the people on the comments didn't get what he was saying. And yes, I went and looked because I wanted to see what was said on there, because people literally go onto this person's page. He's a Buddhist monk, mind you.
yeah,
It doesn't bother him, but I'm just like, this is society for you. Christians go on his page just to yell at him that that's not how God intended things to be. When in actuality, isn't Buddhism a lot of psychology?
to a certain degree, it's self-mastery of yourself. So in that regard, you could say it's psychological. But as you know, I've seen more recently, we try to assign metaphysical or supernatural properties to things we don't understand when there's an explanation for everything. I know we were talking about the masks that the Japanese refer to in society, and you have essentially those, everything is threefold. Well, it's threefold because you have you, family, and then society. So it's when you break down and do something, bad, you're affecting all three of those components, and all three of those components fold back in on itself. So yeah, it's magnified threefold because you have three different aspects to taking in Neon Genesis Evangelion. You have three aspects to your own psyche that are then fed back to you, and then it's what is the consequences of your actions. Where a lot of people get caught up in either a catharsis or a dysfunction. You have the power step back and choose whether you allow that dysfunction to continue to perpetuate your life or use it as fuel to change it into what you want. Like I said, that one lady I talked to, she said she wouldn't mind getting contact information.
Yeah, I will talk to you about that off stream, but Ray told me about that earlier. I would love to help do that. That is like epic.
Yeah.
And they need it so bad.
Oh,
They really do.
No, but that's the other, like, we give up on our dreams because we have to settle on something else. And they recently added in the, what is it, the Millennium Edition or whatever of Berserk, the animated short story.
Mm-hmm.
They added the Bonfire of Dreams, and the whole concept is all these people come with their own dreams, but they believe that by following Griffith, they'll get a small ember of their own dream, not realizing that the purpose of that ember is to cast it into your own fire to create your own blaze to live your own dream.
See, and I understand that to the T. I mean, okay, because of what I've been doing for the last 12 years, I don't see things like most people do.
Yeah.
Because I've been surrounded by people who are following their dreams and living their dreams, so a lot of that doesn't register except for, say, in the beginning of it. Because I swear to God, if I had a dime for every person that told me I wouldn't be able to do it, I'd have been a rich woman without ever having done it.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't fuel to my fire. It wasn't, oh, I'll show you. It was, this isn't going to fail.
Yeah.
Period. And I didn't care what anybody said. To me, it was not going to fail. And that's all that mattered, was that I believed in myself.
Yeah.
And that's the concept that people can't grasp, is because everybody is so eager for praise that when they don't get it, they give up. So you have to learn to be your own cheering section.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody, and you meet a lot of opposition. I have dealt with a lot of fucking bullshit, and I still fucking push through it all. So to me, that concept, I get it. I really do. But then again, I've come from a place where I am one of the anomalies that did live my dream, and there's no reason for you to say you can't do it or to let anybody else get in your way.
Yeah.
If you want it that bad, and it's not just, oh, I want it, but I don't want to work for it, you're not going to let anything stop you.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of things in my life that unfolded that prevented that from happening.
But there is
Here.
still time.
Oh, I know.
And that's the thing, Trevor, is that the will is still there. There's still the time to do it. And you have a cheering section that will push you through when you don't feel like you can.
Yeah.
Every step of the way. And that is what's vital in it, is having somebody that is always there that's like, hey, for me that was Kimmy. You know, not only was she my translator, she always reminded me that no matter what was going on, it didn't matter, because I was doing it and I was really fucking good at what I was doing. And that was priceless. In the face of all of the opposition, that is priceless.
Yeah.
And putting your own ego aside and listening to other people.
Yeah. And a lot of things have been very different in that regard for me.
Yeah.
Because I haven't, the only cheering section I've had is me. And the only thing I've had any kind of compassion for is psychology. So every single professor will always tell you not to use it on yourself, but when it's all you know and it's everything you have, I mean, I don't know where I fit into in regards to society. I don't even know if I have a place, and having lost one of my closest friends along with somebody who I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, I mean, it's just, yeah. Anymore, I
But that's okay too, because you know what? That's when that's going on. That's when you're growing,
Why not?
because you're no longer who you were, and maybe you're not going to be who you thought you were going to be. But you have this chance to reinvent yourself however you want,
Yeah.
and it's not easy. And
Well, it's. I don't know how to explain it outside of. Society doesn't get me, and I know this because of work, and people look at me like I'm just a blob that gives, and they're not used to that. Like, really, they're not used to that. They're like, what do I do with you? What is this? What are you made of? So, yeah.
and some people will try to find out, and other people will be like, nope, not today,
Why?
Satan, not today.
Well, it's like the one lady at work who kept trying to interact with me, but nobody understands that, like, I'm done dating forever. I've already committed that to myself, and I broke promises when I was younger to myself. I will never break them again. So it's
And you know what? That's okay. That's
even
okay.
if a
I
sparkling
just-
rhino unicorn came up, I'd be like, okay, you're pretty, awesome. Go away, please.
Yes, but you know what could happen? The least likely thing happen, and you spend time with somebody and get to know them and realize, hey, you know, I actually kind of
No.
do like this person.
No, because the way I see people is, and this, I mean, outside of family, the way I see people is they'll show you maybe 25% of who they are, so that's still 75% that you don't have a freaking clue about. And because of that, I understand that anybody who has any kind of self-awareness knows that they can show any part to who they are, not revealing who they really are. And yeah, using that Johari window, it's creepy.
Yeah, it's like me with business. Some people know who I really am, as in the anthropologist, and that I'm actually kind of really funny,
Yeah.
and that I'm not all
Well, and
business all the time, but you get me in a business
Yeah.
aspect, and that's all you know. I mean, yeah, I might crack a joke here and there, but it's business.
Well, and people get weirded out by me because I'm like 95% everything you see is what I am. The things that I don't show people are the things that I've had to struggle with my entire life. And most of that comes from trying to find a mental health professional, and after 5 sessions, they're like, okay, yeah, you're cured, you're fine. It's like, but
That's not how this works.
well, and it's like as above, so below. Better example is the closer you get to the light, the bigger your shadow gets. So even if you emanate light, behind you is a gigantic fucking shadow. So usually,
But it's a band-aid these days.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I saw a psychiatrist from 5 until like 9, I want to say, or 8.
but
And
it's-
then again from 10 to 16.
yeah, and it's different though, because we all need. I know I specifically need a person that I can openly talk about my feelings with, and I've never had that. I've never, like, 34 years, never had that.
Honey, in all of my time seeing shrinks, I could never open up because everything I said went back to my parents, and my parents were the fucking problem.
Yeah. But you've had people you've interacted with, you know, at work or family members, and
Our families are comparable.
yeah.
They are very much so. That's how I understand a bit of that. But the thing is that you're well on the road, Trevor, to doing great things. And you have such a unique perspective on the world, from where you've been down to your training and all of it. And you're very eloquently spoken.
I don't always see it. But
I do.
I've never engaged, well, never. I rarely engage in other people. My coping mechanism is always isolation or poems. It's just, like, my poems tell my story, and I haven't even read through them, but it's more like, if I think about a poem, I'm like, oh, hey, there's a philosophical concept in that a lot of people could gain something, but I don't share them either. There's been like 5 people that have read them, and it's like,
I think they're wonderful.
Yeah.
I really do, and I think you're right. I think they could help people if they could get them in the right context. But
Yeah.
that's the problem with art, is that it's subjective. And it brings different things to different people, but that's also the beauty of it. And, well, I think you're great at it. I really do, and I think you should put a book out
Oh,
of
I
your
could.
poetry.
I
I
could.
really do.
The
And
first
I'm not
step
just
was-
saying that as
well, yeah.
as a mother figure. I'm saying that as a professional. I
Yeah.
think they are quality enough to do that with.
Well, the first step was being published
I
once.
forgot my diamonds.
That,
And part of your reluctance comes from the opposition you got from that. Oh, well, that's not a big deal, when actually it is.
yeah.
It really is. Regardless of where it is, what it is a big deal. It's going to be out there. My first album cover, I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my god, that's the coolest thing ever. And here we are many later, and I'm still excited as fuck every time it happens. And I have people, I mean, the last thing that I did that was album art, I didn't tell many people because, well, your real friends are the ones that are happy for you.
Yeah.
And I don't have many of those left.
I don't have any.
I guess I don't quite count as a friend, but
Uh,
I get
well,
you. I get you.
Yeah,
I get
no,
you.
it's well, and then you figure most of my life circumstances kept me from interacting with you, so it's I had to become my own light, and what they don't tell you with that is you have to walk through a lot of darkness to find your own light.
No, the funny thing is they don't tell you that you're still in the dark. You just emanate enough light that it's not dark anymore. And that's experience. I've been through this. I know this rodeo. You know, my favorite saying.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've got blue ribbons in this rodeo for
Yeah.
days, and that's
There's a guy I lived with, and he'd always call it life's grand pageant. And
Yeah.
I get it. It's most people are playing a role in life that they think they have to fulfill or satiate to a certain degree, and eventually they end up exhausted because the heart's not in it.
Yeah.
And it's because they're treating it like a pageant, you know. Look
Yeah.
at me. When it's
honey. I work in the music industry. Trust
Oh,
me.
I know.
I know this one
But-
well.
But then you encounter people who have truly seen darkness, and at first it's like, you're making it up, or nobody's seen something like that, or that never happens in real life, and then you find out, oh, no, it does happen. Some people have really, really dark lives, and they're doing the best they can.
Yeah. And those tend to be the kindest people too,
Mm-hmm.
because they know what it's like to be there, and when they see other people like that, they want to help them.
That, or they start to recognize the implications. Like, it's the butterfly effect, and it doesn't happen where a butterfly flaps its wings and all of a sudden there's a tsunami halfway across the world. It's going back to those 3 points, those 3 masks that the Japanese believe we wear: society, family, and ourselves. So it's everything we do has an impact in those, and because it has that impact, it has an impact that reflects back in us, and we choose whether or not this is, you know, that bullshit they feed us about you can't see things as black and white. Okay, most of the time no, because the circumstances around it. But the choice you get to make is black or white. I mean, fundamentally it's black or white. Either you do or you don't.
That's true. It's true. There is no try, only do. It wasn't Yoda the one that. Well, he wasn't the first one to say that, but everybody knows Yoda, so I used him.
Yeah. But yeah, it's.
Wasn't that actually a Confucius?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I thought. I love Confucius. He was so just. And the funny thing is that I mean, going back to that post, what I was getting at is that a lot of Westerners didn't understand the concept he was trying to explain, and I was like, this is a psychology concept. In all honesty, what it is that if you know your darkest part and you choose to not use it, that is real strength.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. He's sleeping in a hole.
I need to be teleported.
You know how to teleport?
I don't know.
I'm at the house. If you didn't write down the coordinates for your cave, you're kind of screwed ducky. So just teleport to me. You can go TP. But yeah, so it was a psychological concept, and they were like, oh no, you need to put your faith in God. And I'm like, okay, all of that aside, we are still watching something that's been going on for centuries.
Thank you.
The Borg in action. You're wrong. Conform. And what? Okay, this is a beautiful concept, and it's a psychological concept that if you don't know how evil you can be, how do you know how good you can be, right?
Yeah, well, it's Plato. That's a Plato philosophy. If you don't know what it means to be virtuous, how are you? If you don't know what it means to be invirtuous, how are you supposed to know what it means to be virtuous?
Yes.
So it's like, and I know it's not the most popular game, but Go, the Chinese/Japanese game Go, and it's you create parameters, and then you try to overtake that domain with the little pieces that you set up around it. So it's understanding your parameters. It's understanding where do you stand with all these different aspects, and so many people are quick to just jump into it. It's a swimming pool, and they drowned in
That's
it.
hydrochloric acid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Instead of taking a moment, allowing reason in your prefrontal cortex to really kick in and say, you know what? What if we stick this? Oh, that stick melted. Okay, I shouldn't touch that. Or, you know, you take the stick and say, oh, the stick's fine. Something smells kind of weird. And that comes up because, you know, there was methane coming from the hot springs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, what do you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, I was going to say, did you try to get in my hole?
I mean, like, in all honesty,
No.
I have nothing against
I pulled a dumb
anybody.
stunt and died.
Believe what you have to believe to get you through the day. It's not my place to tell you you're wrong. I can show you scientifically that you're wrong, but it's not my place to destroy your belief system. Okay, and that was part of my conversation on my wall today. Was like, it's not. I am careful about that because I don't like that part of that religion, so therefore I won't practice it with mine. If you want to learn, I'll teach you. If not, we're good. I know your religion. I already studied it.
Yeah.
Okay, I know many religions. What kind of religion do you want to learn about? Okay, but I have my own specific beliefs, and mine are based around science.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not my place to tell you you're wrong. You may not be able to grasp the concept of half of the shit that I know, and I accept that. And what did we say? We always assign metaphysical properties to things that we can't comprehend. So what does that say about the mentality if you can't see holes in the story with scientific evidence?
Well, it's funny because when they did my psyche eval, they said I choose to live in a world of fantasy. But given the circumstances,
Yeah.
I mean, like, who wouldn't, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if living in that world of fantasy helps you to rationalize reality on a certain level, I knew what was going on. It was bullshit all along, but
Why are there video games? Why are
Right.
there books? Why are
Right.
there movies? Isn't that an escape from reality?
Yeah.
So that's
Mhm.
kind of, isn't that what we do? Dopamine rushes to escape reality?
yeah. At the same time, though, if you're looking at it from a psychological perspective and a anthropological and historical, there's some truth to everything that's produced in terms of media.
Yeah.
Because they have to have the foundation
Mm.
or the inspiration from somewhere.
Yeah,
So
unless you were the Inquirer.
Well, right. But I mean, there's some truth to every bit of information you see, but finding what that little kernel or nugget of truth isn't always the easiest thing.
Yeah.
I
See, okay, don't get me wrong. A lot of these religions as a concept are very cool.
yeah.
And I can get behind some of the concepts in it, but some of the stuff just agitates me. And I can't get past it. But it's not my prerogative.
Yeah.
I found my space where I'm happy, you find yours. And that's like just seeing these things, and I was like, wow. So you want to see society? Look at something like that, and go read the comments. The autistic one, go read the comments. There are autistic parents fighting with each other, literally outright fighting with each other, calling each other names over a logo.
Well, that's turning a molehill into a mountain, or a mountain into a molehill. There's something else psychologically, fundamentally there. There's a need that needs to be met that isn't getting met, and rather than use good communication, because heaven forbid, who thinks that they know good communication? I mean, I had to learn about good communication. It's when they talk about putting in the work in a relationship, the biggest part is letting yourself fall to the wayside a little bit so that you can give to them whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. It may be listening to them, it may be just having a conversation with them.
Throwing
Fine.
chocolate at them and running when
well,
they're mad.
But there's always that selfless part of us, and I forget what psychologists dove into it, but the golden ratio is 80-20, and the ratio flips. So some days one person could be 80% give, and the other person's 20, whereas the next day, or even 15 minutes later, it's the person who was at the 80% is now at 20%, and the other person is at 80. And it doesn't have to be just that, but those are usually, if it's exceeding that for an extended period of time, or it's below that for an extended period of time, it causes certain issues. There was something else I was going to say with regards to that, and it deals with, bids. I've explained this before,
Yes,
but
yes. Go ahead
good
and do it again.
relationships have bids, where it's each day, or within an hour-long period, a bad relationship will have anywhere between, phone died,
That's okay.
but bad relationship will have anywhere between like 75 to 150 bids.
Mhm.
Good relationships have anywhere between 175 to 200 bids. I'm sorry, and this is within like a 15-minute to 30-minute period. Fantastic relationships have anywhere between 200 and 1,000 bids in a 30-minute. And I'll explain what a bid is. A bid is essentially like if you're sitting at the dinner table and you say, hey, can you pass the salt? And they say, yeah, here. They pass the salt, or they get up and they walk it to you, and you say, oh, thank you. So right there in that small exchange, you're talking about 4 different bids.
Mhm.
And if I understand each one doesn't have to be successful, but for instance, could be like someone says something and then they're like, "What'd you say?" There's a bid. Or if that person retorts, "I said da 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 da," that's 2 bids and they're successful. So fantastic or really good relationships have anywhere between 300 and 1,000 bids within 15-30 minutes. I mean, that's an astronomical number.
That's conversation.
Right. But and then
Yes.
dialing it back to 90% of all communication is nonverbal. And in the world we live in now, everything is nonverbal. But so many things get misconstrued because we're losing this sense of word understanding. Because you could say, "Oh, I really liked your picture," and it's like "liked" is sort of a really weak word. Whereas if they, I really liked your picture to, you know what, that picture you took, it brought a sense of heartwarming completeness. I mean, that's looking on it on a somewhat poetic scale.
Yeah.
And if I was to say something, when I saw that picture, it made me want to change my life. I mean, taking the same, "Oh, I really liked your picture," and then translating it to, "It made me want to change my life." I mean, you're looking at completely 2 different worlds of interpretation just off of changing a few simple words.
Yeah.
It changes the gravity of it.
It
So
does.
yeah, it's,
Yes, it very much does. You know, the strange thing, I've actually had people say that and they became photographers. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And they ask, I give them information. I'm like, "Hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that?" I got a couple people that I'm helping, trying to
Yeah.
pull up and teach them some stuff, and I love that shit.
And you could look at it as like text messages in an hour. A lot of people are misinterpreting it, and this is why I'm a little bit against social media, because if you post something and 20 people like it, and then 5 minutes later you post something else and 15 people like it, just in those 2 interactions, the person posting is getting a diminished sense of self because they're just looking for that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
And then their next post, which could be an hour later, gets 2 likes. So now, in these, hour-long period, they've had 3 posts and the numbers of likes have significantly dropped.
Yeah.
That's a direct correlation to the emotions that they start to feel.
Yeah.
A diminished sense of self-worth. So I don't engage in social media for that main purpose, because I was one of those people that was out like, "Oh yeah, like, oh, someone responded, oh," and then it got less and less and less, and I was like, I just feel terrible now. I stopped engaging with social media.
And that's understandable.
Because it leads to such a profound sense of diminished self-worth.
Especially for women.
Yeah.
The fact that and to each their own. And it's not like if I had a butt that people wanted to see, I would do it.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of girls do that and post half-naked pictures for the attention.
Yeah.
And I don't know, growing up, my dad was always like, "Be careful what you put out into the world, because what you put out is the attention you're going to get back."
One of those 3 sides. It's
Yes.
one of those 3 sides.
Yeah, so I have always dressed very respectful.
But then here's the complex part about this, right? Especially with things like OnlyFans or pornographic material for that matter, that person to a certain degree has to diminish themselves in certain circumstances. I'm not saying this applies to...
Look what it did to my sister.
Right. So they diminish their self-worth, which then feeds into society in the way that they're projecting themselves, which then also feeds into the family. So, and then when all 2 of these come back to the person and their self, it diminishes it even further, making certain behaviors develop into a much more complicated catharsis that then becomes harder to peel back the rotten layers of the onion to say, hey, you're okay in there, you can still make different choices.
Yeah.
And that's the fundamental. It's not about forgiving and forgetting. It's about forgiving and finding a place in yourself where that no longer has to diminish not just your self-worth, but the person that you really do know deep down inside you want to be, and being that kind, gentle person. And it's hard in a world that's so full of shit, piss, and rot. It's hard.
And I watched that with Jenny, and I tried for years to pull her back from the abyss, and it never. It took me leaving for 7 years and having absolutely no contact with her for her to actually pull herself together enough to do something else with her life.
Yeah.
But the drugs never stopped.
And in part, she could have seen you a little bit as regret, because she couldn't do something to change the circumstances, and so it was a source of regret for her. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it is, because that was. She always told me that was her job, was to protect me, and there was a point where she couldn't, and that is probably most likely what kept her where she was. And yeah, I would say that I was a source of contention for her. I mean, we loved each other, but we were both a very big source of contention for each other. Because I wanted her to get away from the stuff she was doing, and she resented me. And I can accept that. I can understand why she would. Because I also got treated very differently as a child. I mean, going back and looking at it from a logical standpoint instead of the emotional standpoint that I have been, I get a lot of it more now.
Yeah. Well, and then even with my direct family at the time, I didn't understand why, my two sisters I lived with at the time, not trying to exclude Ray, but
That
I was
is, I
doing
understand.
what I had believed I should be doing, and that was, going to school, making sure I showed up every day, making sure my homework was done. I wasn't anticipating graduating with a 3.75 GPA. I was just doing what I thought I needed to do, and it was a source of contention for my two other sisters. So, and I didn't understand it for the longest time until I realized, they kept calling me the golden child. I could do no, but I wasn't doing wrong. That's the paradox of the whole thing.
Yeah, but isn't that what they do? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's like, it happens in a lot of families.
Yeah.
Because, like, my sister was the golden child, and then she ran away from home at 13. And then it was on my brother, and he's like, nope. And then all of a sudden, everybody's interested in me, and I am the last chance at a normal child. I'm like, that ship sailed years ago. Y'all just haven't realized it. My dad literally told me that. When I was like, why do you have to know where I am every minute of the day? He's like, because you're my last chance at a normal child. And I just laughed. I was like, yeah, little goth girl, and you're saying I'm going to be a normal child. Okay, do you see the black eyeliner and the red lipstick and the black clothes and the fucking I fucking hate you music, Dad? What?
I can't say I didn't do a lot of the things I did for not wanting praise, but I did it just because I felt like I needed to.
Yeah.
My biggest feedback was seeing my grades, knowing I put in the effort. I saw my grades, and I was like, hell yeah, another A.
Yeah.
So when I got, I think, my first C, I was like, oh shit, I need to fix that. But
See, but not everybody has that in them. A lot of people hate school, and you know what? I hated high school, but I loved college.
yeah.
It was the way it was structured was more the way that I was bored in high school. I was like literally fucking bored. I'm like, okay, we learned this last year. Why are we doing this again? And it never occurred to me back then that people need repetition to learn things. They don't pick things up as fast as I do. And I'm like, I learned this in 3rd grade. Okay, I'm just gonna do it all.
Well, that's why I would write poems.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I told you before. I was sleeping in my government class. Literally, I was teacher like, Trevor.
Oh God, that scared me. I thought
What
I
is
was
this?
gonna die.
This, and I was just like, this, and this, and I looked up, and she was like, "Are you fucking kidding? Like, how did you know that?" And I was like, I was like, "Am I right?" And she's like, "Yeah." Okay, cool. I'm going back to sleep.
See, and that's frustrating when teachers get mad at you for being right. It really, it's like, why would you do that to a kid? If they're right, you should praise them
Well,
for
'cause-
for learning what they're supposed to be learning.
It's because I was sleeping in class.
It doesn't matter. That would be like, wow, okay, I'm gonna give you some harder work.
Nah, yeah.
If a teacher would have done that for me, it would have made my life in high school and junior high school a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I did 6th grade twice. And not because I failed, because I was in a 5-6 split, and the teacher, like, a week into class, did some tests on all of us, and was like, well, hey, it appears that my 5th graders are as smart as my 6th graders, so we're just doing 6th grade. So I did 6th grade twice.
Yeah.
I was just like, that was like my total blow-off year. I was 11 years old, and I'm like, I already know this shit.
A lot of, I don't know, people would, if they even heard that I said, I thought college was easy. Like, legit, I thought college was easy. Outside of a few projects and stats, too, it was easy.
Math.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
But a lot of it was easy just because I applied myself. I made it important, so it became easy because I'm like, I'm really gonna soak this information in. And it wasn't even the regurgitation, it was a digestion of it.
Yeah.
Which it changed form, changed shape into what my brain is today. So
Well, digestion is different than just
regurgitation.
regurgitation, because digestion implies that you can critically think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas just regurgitating it is, oh, I know to say this when you ask this question.
Yeah.
It's like what they're trying to do with kids these days. They're trying to teach them sight words instead of teaching them phonetics.
Yeah. Sight words.
Sight words. They're teaching them to memorize words, not to sound them out anymore. Yeah.
It's like taking away cursive.
Yeah, and
Oh, here. Don't learn how to read the Constitution so you don't know your rights.
yeah, of course, except for you have people like me, and they stopped teaching cursive right when Zia was about to learn it. And she was mad because she always wanted to write like me. So I sat down and taught all of my kids how to write in cursive. And then they got yelled at in school for using cursive. The teachers never asked them, how did you learn this?
Yeah.
They yelled at them for using cursive.
Yeah.
My kids still write in cursive. These guys will write in cursive. I'm not gonna, y'all ain't gonna do that. That's just not right to do.
I incorporate certain parts of it if I'm writing fast. Outside of that, I write so that it's legible, because I couldn't write cursive legible.
No, a lot of people can't. But I also got into calligraphy, so it
Yeah.
just flows like really easy for me. I also got yelled at that I was in like 3rd grade, and my teacher was like, I can't read your writing. You need to make it better. And I did, and she said it wasn't good enough, so I started using a mechanical pencil and the wide ruled paper, and I would make one of the lines, like 2 lines, I was writing that tiny. And she's like, you need to learn how to write. I can't read this, and I'm not going to use a magnifying glass to read your writing. And it was perfect print. I was like, beautiful print. But it was just like really microscopic because I'm a facetious little bitch. And so After that, I started writing real big. And she just shut up after that.
See, I got in trouble in my what was it? Sociology, not sociology, social studies class.
Yeah.
Because we had to write a paper, and I brought in my rough draft and my final draft, and it was handwritten.
Yeah.
And he legitimately held it up, the teacher in high school, and he's all like, "I will not accept anything that is handwritten at all, ever. End of discussion." And he looked at me and he's like, "You failed." Yeah.
I'd have been in that office so fucking quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have gotten a phone call, hey, da 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 da, and I'd have been like, I'll be right there. Go hide in the bathroom because I'm going to raise hell.
She totally would too.
No, I did. Teachers scattered like cockroaches when I came in the building. They're like, who's in trouble this time?
But,
I'd catch them on parent-teacher night. I'd walk in the building and they'd all start to run and they're like, oh wait, she's supposed to be here.
Yeah. It was fucking great. Dude, why do I keep running?
in that regard.
That is wrong. They cannot do that. It is... Not everybody has a computer. Not
Well,
everybody has a printer.
I mean, you're talking Howland's Ranch, so.
It doesn't matter.
Well, but yeah.
And to humiliate a kid in class by doing that is... You know why I left why I dropped out of high school for a year? I was...
Or you probably said it. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, I was working in the counselor's office for one of my... I had nothing but electives left for my last year of high school. So I was working for the counselor, and I went to go get a kid out of class, and I went up, and I was going down the hall, and this teacher drugged this kid out of the class by his arm and started cussing him out at the top of his lungs down a hallway that was nothing but wide open doors. And I just kind of tilted my head and looked and listened for a second, and I saw the look on that kid's face, and I walked back down to the counselor's office. I handed him the passes back, and I said, I can't do this, and I walked out of the school. I literally just walked the fuck out of the school. I was there, I didn't have to call myself in. I'm like, I'm my own guardian. I'm not coming to school today.
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, oh, you didn't call, oh, I really have to call myself in? I didn't show. You should know that it's okay I didn't show.
Yeah.
Right? But he
But
got a
that's
hold of me.
also- Oh, yeah.
But he got a hold of me and he's like, what happened? He's like, you literally just left school and you haven't been back for like 3 weeks. I'm like, I'll come talk to you. And I went down and I told him what happened. I was like, I can't do this. I'm like, okay, I'm not like these other kids because I live on my own. I'm emancipated. I know what it's like in the real world, and that's not right. And I ended up taking a year off of school, and I went back to a different school after that and finally graduated. But that's why I left the high school I was at.
Well, and it's the structures that they implement under, like the education, or you take into consideration, lost my train of thought with it, but essentially it's like, what is it, corporal punishment, capital punishment, like lashings.
Yeah, yeah.
And the idea with those was you take your lashings, your punishment is over. Robbie and I used to talk about they really do, in certain circumstances, need to reevaluate what cruel and unusual punishment it should be defined as, and that the punishment should match the crime.
You know, I went to a Catholic school with nuns, like real nuns, and they had just changed the law that they couldn't smack the kids when I went there. Nuns literally used to smack kids over the knuckles with rulers.
Yeah, yeah.
That was perfectly acceptable because they're fucking nuns. I actually, our principal was a nun, and I asked her about it.
Look what I found.
Yes, the spawner. Nice.
There's a skeleton spawner.
And I was always terrified of the nuns. I really was. I was so scared of them. And all I had was the fucking Blues Brothers in my head. Fucking penguins.
Well, and it's like my mom used to say, if get an ass whooping, you go out and pick the stick that you want your ass whooped with. And most kids would pick the thin, wispy one.
Those are not the ones you want.
No.
Those fucking hurt like a motherfucker.
Yep.
See, in my house it was wooden spoons, and when my mom busted all of her wooden spoons whipping us, she pulled out my dad's frat paddles.
Yeah.
And those were no fucking joke.
No. You're talking about thick wood
It's
with
like,
holes in it.
yes, drilled in it, and that shit welted you up, and she didn't care where she hit you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm glad that, well, see, and the problem too today is that people are like, oh, we can't spank our kids anymore. No, legally you can spank your kids today.
You can't abuse your kids.
You can't abuse your kids, which is what most of our parents did to us.
Yeah.
They have a guideline of how you spank your kids so that it does not cross over into abuse.
Right.
Okay, I raised my kids. I never spanked my kids.
Yeah.
I have 3 good kids and one that went off the goddamn rails.
Another smart.
So it doesn't, no matter what you do, you're not guaranteed. I know a lot of kids that were whooped and they've been in and out of prison and doing fucked up shit, and they just don't care. What's the worst they're going to do to me?
Yeah.
They go get in fights because that's what they're used to, and
Well,
it's like, what are we teaching our kids by doing that?
With Rowan, I do the same thing with the positive reinforcement, where and that's why I say I don't reward bad behavior, because that reward or that positive attention, if you look at it as a reward, can undo so much negative that sometimes it's not even funny. It's like, whoa, wait, hang on, it has that kind of an effect?
It does.
And
It does. You know, I threaten to whoop her butt all the time.
Yeah.
And I know people look at me crazy because I'm like, you do that, I'm going to beat your butt. And people are like, oh my God, she's going to abuse her. And I literally just tap her.
Yep.
And it's like, and sometimes I don't even do it. I just get her to where she can be spanked and I touch her butt and I'm like, next time, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I let her go and she's like, usually good as gold. And it's to get her to stop for a minute, because once she settles down and stops and realizes where she's at in the scheme of getting punished, she stops. If she started punishing herself, if she does something bad, she'll go, I gotta go to timeout. And my son did this, and they were telling me that this is not a good thing, your son shouldn't be self-punishing, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why is that a bad thing? Oh, well, then that nullifies it in the future. If he's like, and he'd tell me, he'd be like, I need to go to timeout. And I'd be like, oh yeah? And he's like, yeah, I did this and it was wrong, and so I'm going to go do my timeout and then I'll come talk to you. So how is that bad? He's self-aware enough to know that he messed up and that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But he knows that when he's done with the timeout, and he knew the time and everything. And he'd come out and he'd be like, so this is what I did. I'm sorry I did it. I won't do it again. And he wouldn't do it again. What is the problem with that? Isn't that like what you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
This child is self-aware
Well,
enough to know that he messed up and, well, hey, wait a second.
A lot of parents don't want to explain, I'm taking this away because of this, this, and this. You get it back when I see these improvements in your behavior.
Mhm.
The breakdown in communication. You gotta communicate. Like,
Yeah.
if anything's going to change, people need to see, oh, well, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. These two things we can work with, but this thing we really need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then going in, discussing it, working through it. Now do you see why you? And if they say, yeah, I see why I got punished, and then it's like, well, why is it? You thought you were getting punished. What from their perspective? And if they tell you something that's accurate but off a little bit, it's like, yeah, you got the general concept. But then you can elaborate it to, hey, guess what? One of those 3 things again. Because when you, hypothetically saying, when you punch your sister in the face with a Coca-Cola bottle,
Yeah.
I made me laugh.
it's not a good thing, and it can do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and she's getting rough right up there.
Well, yeah.
She is.
And I'm not saying that happened.
I'll go in there and she'll talk to me right away, just like my son did. And it's like, okay. I'll, as long as you come out and do good, we're good. And if she sometimes will be like, I gotta go to timeout, Mom, will you come talk to me? And that's her indication that I know I'm gonna be sent to timeout, but I'm gonna tell you what I did, and then she won't do it again.
Yeah.
And until a couple days later when she forgets because she gets hyper, and here we are doing it again, and she's like, uh-oh. And if she catches herself, she's like, I gotta go to timeout.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not like, oh, I gotta go to timeout like it's a guilt trip. It's like, I know what's about to happen. So I'm just gonna beat Granny to the punch.
Yeah.
Well, she's a good kid like that too. I mean,
Well, see, and that's the beautiful thing is that she rarely ever gets spanked. She really rarely ever gets spanked. And the only time she does is when she is completely out of control and sending her sister into seizures or hurting the dog or, you know, throwing things at my face, telling me to F off. I mean, that's one of the things that I really don't like, but I get it sometimes. I mean, and as a parent, you have to literally draw your lines in the sand and hold them.
No. Sorry, I was gonna go.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. And it's one of the hardest, least thankful jobs on this planet,
Well,
being a parent.
Destiny used to always tell my mom that she didn't know what boundaries were. And for the most part, she doesn't.
Not a lot of people do,
Oh,
or they
well,
have
yes.
skewed boundaries.
It's the first step is setting boundaries for yourself. Because how are you supposed to function if you haven't established? And I'm sorry, again, like I said, I play Go instead of chess. Most people play chess or
Yeah.
checkers. I play Go, so I established my boundaries. So now I'm like, bing, hi, I can do that. Bing, hey, I can do that. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's what life is about. Is we are forever throughout our life testing our boundaries. And some people test boundaries with other people, and some people test boundaries with themselves. I'd rather test boundaries with myself. You know, I am in this mad competition that's gonna end the day I die, but it's with myself.
I love your analogy.
Well, it's true because the only thing that I compete to do in life is to be better than I was yesterday. And some days I fail at it. And that's okay too, you know? You can't always be moving forward.
Is it okay to fall backwards
As,
sometimes?
Yes, it is. It's normal.
What's Batman's butler's? Alfred. As Alfred says, why do we learn to fall down?
I thought it was
So we can get
Watson.
back up.
Or well, why do we fall down? So we learn to pick ourselves back up.
Yeah.
Because what is it from being a kid with scraped knees to being an adult? When we get knocked down, it gets harder to pick ourselves back up. I'm still wrapping my head around that psychologically.
Because of the gravity of the world.
I get
As a
that.
child, you're unaware and your world is very small.
Yeah.
Whereas as an adult, your world is very, very big. And sometimes you don't even know if you want to get back up. I mean, I've been struggling with that with going back to shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's been going on for a year is do I really want to do this? Can I put my heart in it? But the fact that I'm thinking about all of this so deeply, I know I don't want to quit, but I'm still questioning if I could put my heart 100% back into it.
Well, and that's why, again, I can't remember the psychologist's name, but grit. The ability to push through difficult situations despite how difficult they are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
close this game.
No, you're good. You're good.
Where it's freezing, it's cold.
Honey, falling down is part of life. And failure is a lot of how you learn, right? I mean, how many of those command blocks did I rewrite when I was making that game for the kids?
A lot.
Did I give up and say this was too hard, I can't do this?
No.
No, I did set it down for a little bit and go back to it because it was frustrating me. But that's the problem, is that people keep going and going and going past the point of frustration to the point where they burn themselves out. And if all you're meeting is frustration, you're not going to want to do it, are you?
Nope.
So would that be considered falling backwards in your world?
No.
We also have, if, because like with rock climbers or other things for that matter, like I imagine learning resin, it's, you do it, you get frustrated, you walk away, come back to it with a different scope, and then you get the reward because you do it right, or it comes out the way you were expecting.
Yeah.
So it's, with that grit, the other side of grit is going through a hard situation and then coming out on top of it. So there is a reward, and then also knowing your boundaries, because you're like, okay, this isn't working, I don't really want to do this, and then it's like, not for me. And then, you know, you gain a piece of intellect for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just,
I think in some aspects too, you gain respect for other people. Because, like, okay, I've always been enamored with people that could do math. Because it's the one thing that I just don't get. I mean, okay, yes, I do geometry all the time.
yeah,
But I'm not doing equations, I'm doing the actual practice of it.
yeah,
What you're learning in the equations is what I'm doing.
yeah,
So it's apples and oranges, literally. But, like, I can do basic math really easy, and a lot of it in my head, I still have to count on my fingers sometimes,
yeah,
and
that's,
it's like, okay, but, like, you get me in English or science, and it's just like, bam, 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 you feed me information, and I'm not regurgitating it, I'm
assembly.
taking it in and using critical thinking to put the pieces together of everything, of what I already know and what I just learned. I don't know. It's funny though how people are, because people are more willing to give up on something they really, really want because it's hard than they are to push through it to do it.
That and experience, to a certain degree, teaches us that not everything we strive for is rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't got to the reward yet. And in Secret, they talk about that, where it's, you want to give up because it gets too hard, not knowing that 2 more steps and it's right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that a lot with new photographers. Like, I cannot tell you how many people came in and they're like, oh, I'm going to take over. I'm like, yeah, that might be harder than you think, dude. Oh, no, it's going to be easy. Okay, you've been doing this for a year and you know nothing about business. How are you going to do this? Is Hope still up? Okay. But it's like, how are you going to do this if you know absolutely nothing about business? And they don't look at it as a business, though. All they're seeing is the glitz and glamour, and then they realize exactly how much work really goes into it. And they're like, oh, wait, why did I want to do this again?
I'm so used to people outside of you that say they studied psychology or they know a little bit about psychology, and it's like, oh yeah, classical conditioning. I know. No, there's a reason why that's a fundamental. Because classical conditioning is how all cycles are created.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand that until a few weeks ago. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All cycles are created by introducing new stimulus. And then you start to associate that stimulus to the cycle. And so it's, you have your downtime, then you have offending, then you have regret, and then you have downtime. I mean, I'm simplifying the cycle of abuse essentially, but
Yeah.
those are the 3 components to it.
Yeah.
You do this causality.
Yep.
So it's you do this, and the first step is recognizing it. So if you can recognize it, you now have control over whether or not you want to do it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. And yeah, I hear people say they know psychology and they try to spew stuff at me, and I'm like, could you explain that? Because I don't quite understand what you just said. And then they get mad when you correct them on some of the things. And it's funny because, like, okay, we were talking about this before, where people listen to, like, the motivational speakers that have no psychology training trying to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You just gotta show them who's really the boss.
yeah, and it's like, oh, what?
But then it goes with things like that. It's when you win an argument, what do you really win?
You win being heard.
To an extent.
Well, that's what you think you win.
Yeah.
We don't know what we win. I don't think anybody really contemplates what it is that they're trying to win.
Right.
But in actuality, what you're winning is finally being heard, because 98% of all arguments happen because one or both parties feel like they're not being heard.
That, or there's an underlying issue
Mm-hmm.
where it's, you know,
But it's still about not being heard.
right. I was gonna tell Ray with the 6 stages of change, and once you recognize a behavior, you have pre-contemplation, contemplation, pre-preparation, action, maintenance, and termination. And in the maintenance period, you have relapses.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you're expecting to change something and not have a relapse, you're literally insane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
insanity is defined by repeating the same action over and over and expecting a different result.
Yep.
Uh,
We've
so-
been over that.
Right, so it's in the maintenance phase, you learn what works and doesn't work.
Yes.
So if you're I would use smoking as an example. If I want to terminate the behavior, I know I have to not buy the cigarettes, A, and B, stop smoking. Well, if we go back to even far back as pre-contemplation, why do I want to quit? What is my motivation for quitting? Okay, so contemplation, okay, I can really do this. You draw up your plan, and then preparation, you get things in motion. Okay, I'm gonna start vaping more. From there, I'm gonna start cutting back,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna pay more attention to when I get that feeling that's just clenched and tight and like, oh my god, I'm so stressed out. And it's like, okay, well, why am I stressed out? And then learning how to say, is it important, or do I need to hold on to it, or is it, can I manage
Okay.
this level of stress? Well, yeah. And then from there, it's the termination happens when you no longer do it for a period of 3 months to 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
change. The funny thing is, the only constant thing in the world, the only thing that never stops changing is change.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And 4 million or 40 million chickens die, and eggs are fucking astronomical when there's written into the Constitution that people in America can own chickens. And it was for this exact reason that they did that, because they said that with a wage and keeping chickens, that families should be able to make it, because that would cut back on the food costs, because you could breed the chickens and have chicken and you can eat the eggs. And what we know now, that if you don't wash the eggs on a farm, they can stay indefinitely good as long as you don't wash them, because the pores in them are covered up.
Which is funny because at work I saw these ceramic eggs, and I thought it was like an actual carton of eggs. I was like,
Oh.
whoa, they're uncleaned? What? And then I saw ceramic. I was like, oh, lame.
That's cool. You know, the funny thing is that eggs are so gross when they come out of the chicken. They're like slimy, and yeah, it's like, they're weird. But I get it now. I never understood why my aunt never washed the eggs.
Well,
But I
and
still won't fight a goddamn goose for their eggs.
we were talking about
Well,
how
we have no fucking choice in this matter.
chicken soup made from the whole chicken has antimicrobial properties.
Yes, yes.
So, how can we not say that that same
membranic coating that's on the egg has that same effect until you wash the egg and use it. But that coating has all the antimicrobial, antibacterial properties.
Well, it doesn't actually. What it is it's a membrane that covers the pores in the egg so no bacteria can get in it. And yeah, if you get the washed eggs and you put oil on it, like mineral oil, it'll seal it, and you can keep them indefinitely. They say a year, but I don't trust the FDA because they say a lot of shit that ain't true.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Sure,
come on, we've had a
good
cure
for
for
you.
cancer since almost the beginning of time.
What's something else they say? Oh, fat's bad for you. Fat's good for you. Fat's bad. Let's crush that right now. Good fats like omega-3 fatty acids, you have to have, or you're diminished brain function.
Yeah.
End of discussion there. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and look at these other cultures. They eat a lot of fat. Pork belly. Pork belly is almost all fat, and a lot of cultures that is a main staple in their food. So, depending on your other nutrients, that is something that's vital, I'm seeing. And it's for the fat content because they tend to eat a lot of vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's interesting. Because
Yeah.
we tend to eat more meat than anything in the
Yeah.
United States.
And I wouldn't necessarily vouch for just a potato and bacon diet, but nutrition-wise, you're getting almost everything you need fundamentally to have a healthy brain in the starch and the fat.
Yeah.
So, a viable option to help brain function would be literally potatoes and bacon, and it would help increase brain function.
Well, I'm screwed. I don't eat bacon.
Well,
Well, I eat bacon rarely. I don't really care
Well,
for
no,
pork
and
other
it's-
than.
it was an example I was looking into, and when I
Yeah.
was looking at the health benefits for your brain, I'm not talking about the other parts of your body, I'm just talking about for your brain.
Yeah.
Yes, it is highly beneficial. Highly beneficial. And that blew me out of the wall. I was like, wait a minute. This completely contradicts what the FDA is trying to promote.
Oh, honey, in my lifetime, we have gone back and forth at least 20 times on whether eggs are good for you or not. And well, let's just be honest here. Anything in excess is bad for you.
Too much water will drown you.
Yes, it will kill you.
So,
Too much. Okay, pure oxygen will kill you quicker than fuck.
Yep.
Those rebreather masks that they put on people are so fucking dangerous. They are so fucking dangerous. It's not even funny, but they still use them.
yeah, pure O2.
Yeah, pure oxygen will kill you. And they used to release the oxygen tanks in the warehouse, and you would notice a marked change in the atmosphere in the warehouse when they would do it, because they do a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because when they come back from a facility, you've got to empty them.
Yeah. Otherwise, they can explode.
Well, no, it's because there might be bacteria in there, and you can't give that you can't use that until you clean it.
What's a COVID? No.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Oh, we're talking nasty
Oh,
stuff.
I know.
I had a bed that had TB on it, and I refused to clean it. And they didn't get mad at me for it. I was like, I have kids at home. I am not chancing anything.
Sit back over here.
Yeah, you're good.
I know we're still live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's and that's the other thing is that from what I know about biohazard, the FDA is full of shit. Walking on the ground barefooted will give you E. coli. I mean, you'd be amazed at the shit that you walk on and touch day to day. But it doesn't affect healthy people most of the time.
Yeah.
So we don't notice it.
And I felt bad because at work I was explaining to a lady about antibacterial,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at her and I was like, they're not making that out of Sky Vodka. And I dialed it back. I was like, when you're brewing, you have 3 types of alcohol. You have top, which is all your, great shit. That's your top shelf vodkas, whiskeys, all that. In the middle, you have your body, which is what 90% of everything you buy is. And then you have your bottom, which is your tail. It's the stuff that doesn't have fully metabolized sugars in it. So that's what they're making these hand sanitizers out of.
The
It's
stuff
not
that
made
makes
out
you
of
go
stuff.
blind for moonshine.
Well, it's so you're getting these unprocessed particles and enzymes that are left that are sticky. So you're using hand sanitizer, and when it dries, you're left with this sticky, highly non-bacterial or highly bacterial thing on your hand. You're going and touching stuff. So you're making everything sticky and you're spreading the germs. You're
Yeah.
not killing them at that point. You're
Did
spreading
you know in our warehouse working with Biohazard there was no hand sanitizer? You washed your hands.
Exactly.
Hand sanitizer is not acceptable in that situation.
Now it's good. Now let's say if you're wearing a glove and then you touch something, yeah, it'll kill the germs, but then you still want to wash your hands after you sanitize them.
Well, okay, when we used universal precautions, which is taking your gloves off without touching yourself or the gloves, and you wash your hands immediately.
Yeah.
In the hospital, if you ever notice, the only time that they use the hand sanitizer is when they take their gloves off and they walk out of the room.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, you will see a nurse walk over and wash her hands after the hand sanitizer.
Well, and I've seen it at work. They have a thing for cleaning up hazmat stuff.
Yeah.
And even then, they take them off wrong. Because, right? So you're supposed to pinch a portion of the glove that isn't touching your skin and pull down. Meanwhile, you're supposed to pinch again, but no. The way that they show it is you take the glove, put it underneath, touching your hand to pull it off, and then again with this one underneath the glove, and you pull them out. Now they're almost right, but you need to pinch the glove so that that glove isn't coming in contact with your skin.
That's the way they taught us to do it, was the slip it in.
Yeah.
But that's also why they make the wrists on them bigger. And especially for me, it was like really
Well,
easy.
right.
There's this. That's why when you look at the way the gloves are made,
Yeah.
unless you're getting the really cheap ones, there's always a lip right there, and that's so that you can move your hand like this, and it'll pop it out, and you just grab that right there, and you pull, and then you pull, and you're done. And then you turn them inside out in each other and throw them away that way.
I've always pinched the glove, pulled it down, and then pinched the glove, and then pulled it down, so that the glove is never coming in contact with my skin.
Yeah. Do you do it so you wrap them up in each other?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, yeah, that's what they're most worried about. Because even if you do end up touching yourself, what you're supposed to do. No, that's okay. Now I got that song in my head. But
Well,
you know
it's
the.
just when you're kids, right? I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching.
See, and my mind immediately went to when I think about you. I touch myself. That song. It is what it is. But what you're supposed to do after you do that immediately is to go wash your hands. So whether you touch it or not, depending on what's on your gloves, you go wash your hands. And well, besides working in a warehouse, and I would go through almost a box of gloves in a month. Actually, I think it was less than that. But your hands get all sweaty inside of it, so your hands are just freaking gross anyway. Why would you not go wash them?
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you remember back then. I know you came over a couple of times. My hands were chewed the fuck up. I looked like they were like just like gross. That was because I washed my hands at least 50 times a day at work. And I have to use like a good soap to do it. And then you have the chemical burns from the chemicals we were using that splash. Yeah. And what they don't tell you is that the stuff that kills everything has to sit on it and stay wet for 15 minutes. So your little hand sanitizer is not killing everything. What about MRSA? MRSA can't be killed by that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's highly contagious, flesh-eating bacteria. Okay? TB can stick around for forever. We had a TB scare in the warehouse. We all had to get tested because one of our drivers was exposed in the hospital because the nurse didn't tell him when he picked up some of our equipment. and nobody had it except for Mo, and he was a carrier, which meant that he was going to have to be on medicine for the rest of his life because he wouldn't actually be affected by it, but he could pass it to everybody else. Did you know that a child coughing with TB can infect almost an entire room? Yeah.
Okay.
The rooms they put you in when you have TB are sealed, and the air is pulled up into a vent and filtered and sent out, and nobody's allowed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was kidding about
It's crazy. I'm like, dude, I've seen some weird shit in hospitals.
Too good for it.
Yeah.
Varian's too good for it.
Yeah, that's back to that stuff freaks me out. That's part of why I have issues with sticky stuff on my hands. You brought up resin earlier. I was like, oh, that was such a fun thing. I was like, I got sticky on my hand, and I was like, I got really good at not getting it on my hands. But that just, I'm like, it's on me, it's on me.
Well, see, and like I said, I would love to make, pull it up, but I'll show you. I had a wooden copy of it.
Hmm.
That one kind of is. But it wasn't these colors, but you could do something like this in resin.
Almost definitely, and you could put a light in it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is make a mold, and you could mass produce them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And now they have these really cool. Well, now they have 3D printers that work off of UV resin,
See,
and that's like, I love UV resin. I use it for my jewelry.
making something like that for cosplay,
Mm-hmm.
and then even having to pay a copyright to the company that designed it.
25% difference.
Well, okay, yeah.
25% difference.
But even if I did, using it as a marketing aspect, like, hey, I don't mind making these so that more people can dress up at conventions like this, or so they can LARP. Like, I'll pay you a commission, cause something like that, you make that, and it looks nice and professional and packaged. Like, you're spending maybe $200, but you're charging.
Depends on what resin you use.
Well, that and the packaging, because if you see what that weapon, like the case that it comes in the game, I mean, it's a nice case, and you can make it fancy and licensed, but you do that. Especially because Ray's talking about moving to Japan, I mean, but you do that.
Hey, you started it.
Oh, and you could charge anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000 per one of these, because I know people would pay that to have people having something that's authentic, nice, shiny, and beautiful, and to a certain degree semi-practical. Paying that much for it, yeah, cakewalk. So you're making 1,000% increase.
Yeah, yeah.
So
See, and then you limit it the number that you make, which keeps the value high on it, and then you factor in with that how many you're gonna make, how many are gonna get destroyed almost immediately, because people are gonna want a sword fight, right? How many are gonna get broken in the process of being shipped?
yeah.
I mean, you've got a lot of aspects to think of when it comes to that, but it is a good idea. And, well, like, your resin is going to make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because some resins are not very good.
I get that.
And for that, you'd want to use one of the slow setting ones, which means that your time frame in making them is going to be longer. Because the slow setting resin is 2 days.
Unless you get like, 4 machines.
Well,
No.
you'd have to make 4 molds, and you could do that really
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
The
Well, it
molds are
was-
easy to make.
Some of, and when I get it again, the 11th installment of Final Fantasy, I can't say it anymore. I was making templates out of cardboard. Big sheets of cardboard.
I learned how to do the vacuum sealed molds, which is what you'd probably want to use for that. That you can use, you coat it with Mylar, and you can use it for resin
Well,
molds.
and I mean, it's at that point too. If you needed a reorder and you had it all the specifications, you're like click or
Yep.
and then put in the mold, and then charge them extra because it's out of season or out of stock or a special order. I mean, things like that. So where something like that normally would be, you could run promos where it's like $1,000, but then if it's like, oh, I really want this, and you want this, and it's not that kind of season, it's gonna take a while, $6,000.
But what you'd want to do is make them in different sizes for different prices. Because not everybody can afford $6,000, and that's something you got to take into consideration too. So you make a smaller version of it, and you charge less. Right down to, you could go right down to a keychain.
Yeah. And
People
I
make a
wouldn't-
ton of money on keychains.
Right, and I wouldn't use underhanded marketing. The first thing I would do is give you the dimensions, let you know, hey, keychain.
Yeah.
So, because I don't. One of the things buying the weaponry that I did at a young age, like 20 something,
Mhm.
is a lot of marketing was deceptive.
Yes.
And learning how to read through certain deceptions, like, that's only $120. No, that one's $300. That one's probably a better option, and it's more expensive, but
Says it's full tang and it snapped the second I smack something with it.
Anyway, guys, I'm turning into a pumpkin.
You're a pumpkin.
Yeah, you haven't seen the orange? I turned orange finally. I'm
Well,
like,
damn it! Where's our torch so we can light your ass up?
where's a lighter? It'll just set me on fire, okay?
No, you said you were a pumpkin. I gotta get the shears and carve you and stick a torch up your ass.
Okay.
Well, that was rather abrupt, Ray, but that's okay. We get it.
Rather abrupt, huh?
Yeah, rather abrupt. She's like out of nowhere, like, oh, I'm dying of sleep.
Well, it is also 3:30 in the morning.
Is it?
It is.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Why don't you say goodnight to everyone tonight?
What?
Nothing. I'm being a dick.
All right. Say your piece.
Say it with me.
La 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 la, live for today. What?
What?
Kombawa.
Ray's got to work on her endings.
Yeah, I do.
So what do you say?
We hope everybody had a wonderful night tonight. I'm a pumpkin and you're not. Just kidding. We gotta get the shears.
You're a monkey.
We got the shear. We gotta get the shears and carve me, and shove a torch up my ass. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I'm so nice, isn't he?
I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. Oh, is that it? You really are a pumpkin.
Yeah, I am.
Wow. Okay, well, y'all have a good whatever the fuck it is, wherever the hell you are. Right?
Yep. And we hope to see you guys soon.
Bye.